All right. Welcome everyone. Just one sec here. All right. Cool. Welcome everyone. Here to another episode on the Inner Wealth YouTube channel. I'm happy to be here. Happy to run up another Technical Tuesdays with you guys. And so let's just dive right into it. Because we have a little bit more to cover than usual, so I'm gonna start real quick. All right. So yesterday, if you guys don't remember, I was calling this one my initial weekly objective. Give me one sec. Yeah, I was calling this my initial weekly objective. Let's go all the way to DXY real quick. Give me one sec. Right, and then my final weekly objective being that one over here, the 270. Okay, the 107 270. So we're going to take a screenshot of that previous weekly high getting hit. Okay, on a daily perspective, I do think we can get to this imbalance today. Okay, I do think that we can get to the weekly today, and then from there we'll see what happens. But I'll take it from there. If we end up distributing from there or getting a slight rejection, that's the point in which I'd see that happening. See how there's like a little bit of liquidity building up right below it? That's a really good sign. So this picture right here is going to go for Monday, because yesterday we were looking for longs into these highs, and that's what we got. We got a really nice long day. So today, honestly, my weekly and daily objective are the same. Yeah, my daily and weekly objective are the same price. It's that top line 107 270 today. Yeah, just seeking out 107 270. Let me okay. Give me one sec. Let me just fill out my journal. Just since we did hit the first weekly objective, I'm just noting that in my journal real quick. Just taking notes here. All right. But yeah, I mean, honestly, in terms of a daily range, I wouldn't consider this a range until it stopped, but we can make it down to this previous weekly high. It's a possibility. It doesn't have to happen before we go for the highs, though. I don't think we're gonna come all the way down here before we move higher. I think those highs are pretty close. This 4 hours seems to be walking itself up. Let's look at the 1 hour. 1 hour seems pretty bullish. I would say I'd look for more longs out of this imbalance here. Yeah, more longs out of that imbalance. So for me, I am long on dollar. I believe that this 4 hour imbalance here is going to be respected overall. There we go. That 4 hour imbalance down there. We may fill up this hourly, but overall, if we respect that 4 hour one, that's really what's holding up this bullish order flow. So yeah, more longs. Give me one sec. I'm actually, instead of that other image, I'm gonna do this one, because this one seems a little bit more accurate. And today, you guys are just gonna have to have a little bit of patience with me, because my wrist hurts a lot today. I don't know why, but these last few days, if you guys didn't know, last week I fell off a fucking scooter, going like 40 miles per hour, and got pretty bad road burn on my right palm. But this week, my wrist started hurting quite a bit. It's not even like my palm where I hit myself or hurt myself. It's just like my wrist. So if I pause for a second, bear with me. Okay, let's go to not yeah, let's go to NASDAQ actually. Range for NASDAQ is still bearish. I wanted to see that previous weekly high taken, and that was my weekly objective, really. I still believe we can get up there, to be honest with you. I don't think that we should completely negate the possibilities of going back up there. Hold on one second. One sec. There's a reason why I can't see that. Oh, there it is. Okay. This daily one right here, I'm gonna leave it. We did make it to the daily imbalance. That is something that we did come back to yesterday. We came to the blue shaded area. We got double confirmation there, and then we just started distributing one more time. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But as of right now, this is my daily range. Right, it is in a bullish daily range. I could see us taking out previous daily low. But overall, if we end up respecting this gap, the new week opening gap, I do see us going up and beyond. It's really going to be a matter of, do we respect this new weekly opening gap and move higher? Because if so, I'm looking at 50% and above. Okay, I'm looking up pretty high, or at 50% first, right? So today's going to be a pretty important day to define what order flow we're going to respect, the bullish or the bearish. So I remain with my same weekly objective of 15060.75, and then in terms of longs, yesterday we ended up getting some nice longs, but not longs to take out the high. As I mentioned yesterday, I didn't really expect it to. I was really just seeking out this Asian liquidity, and we got to that Asian liquidity really nicely. So longs ended up playing out. Target hit, but we weren't able to get into the market because our target hit before our entry really came about. So I wasn't a part of this trade, unfortunately. Today, price action has melted down from that exact same area, that previous daily high, that daily insufficiency that was there. And we're rejecting down pretty hard above Asian highs since London. At this point, I do see previous daily lows getting hit. Now, the only thing about that is, one sec. Yeah, the only thing about the shorts is the target's super close. Okay, the target's super close, and personally, I just think it's gonna hit like right at the open. You know what I mean? If not before the open, it's gonna hit super soon. I don't know if you guys remember too yesterday about our news event. What was it? What time was it? At 10 a.m. Jolt's job openings. So I'm waiting for 10 a.m. But I do believe that 9 a.m. if we don't take it out and we pull back, then it's gonna be a really nice short. But by the opening price, if we do take out all of these relative lows here, because we have not just one but 2, 3 relative lows right there, 2 previous daily lows, And so I do think that we can make it back and revisit this area. So in terms of targets, I'm going to stay off the charts till 10 a.m. And then we'll see after what happens after we take out the lows. Okay, that's really where I'm curious about price action, is what's going to happen after we take out the lows. But the shorts make sense given that DXY is going to continue moving higher. So this just really supports our whole bias. Okay, targets would be this low and then these equal lows right here on the left. But first immediate target is that low. I mean, honestly, if we're looking at it in internal liquidity though, this is the next low right there. So I'm going to be aiming for this low today. That gives me a little bit more breathing room. So for now, that's going to be my objective. This blue shaded area is really pissing me off because it's so big, but it's okay. You guys understand my charts. That's all that matters. As long as you guys understand my charts, that's perfect. If there's anything on my charts that you guys are like, I don't know about that, man, cool. Say, let me know and then I'll explain it. But yesterday, again, we were aiming for these equal highs up here. We got just that. Before we got our entry, we got the target. So, but for today, yeah, some nice shorting opportunities. My weekly objective may be bullish, but hey, if that changes because I got it incorrect on NAS, it is what it is, and I'll change it. But as of right now, I'm going to maintain it the same until the end of today. But the shorts right now, it just makes sense. Some time after the open, getting back into this blue shaded area and then shorting off, I could see that happening again right after, like pretty shortly after the opening price. So maybe you guys are in some shorts. I agree if you want to hold your shorts to the lows. I could not, yeah, I don't see anything stopping it or trying to reverse it. Dow Jones. Dow Jones just kept shorting as we anticipated. I mean, yesterday we hit the top blue box. Okay, well, I'll let you guys see it for yourself here in the lower time frames. We hit that top blue box on London. We hit that bottom box during New York. We were already trading down here. Then that bottom box, since we closed below it, we traded up into it, used it as resistance, and then we traded from this blue box to that bottom blue box, back up to that top one, to then short right off to that bottom one once again. I do believe that we're just going to continue taking out the lows. Personally, I think Dow is going for that low here. Okay, just saying, I think Dow will be going for that low here pretty soon. Okay, yeah, that would have been your internal liquidity point, but clearly we're not even slowing down. Somebody once mentioned that they wanted to see 32K. Hey, whoever did mention that, we may be getting it pretty soon. I mean, it's way lower than, it's down there, but who knows? We're just dumping. I know my brother Matthew's still holding shorts from up here. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so kind of just seeing price action riding through all this area. Today, obviously, previous daily low seems like the most logical area. I'm gonna say my objective today would be this previous daily low. Yeah, again, we may hit these areas very fast, and then we'll have to reassess from there what may happen. Give me just 1 second. I may have filled up my chart incorrectly again. Yeah, I did. Give me one sec. For some reason, I've been I've been messing this up and putting my Nasdaq in place of my Dow, my Nasdaq markup. So I have to take it all off. One second. Transfer it over, and then fill up Dow correctly. Cool. So that's my objective for Dow. We ended up shorting yesterday. I mean, it's beautiful shorts. Let me fill that out for yesterday. Boom. Okay. Targets were maintained, and we stayed within these boxes overall. A lot of back and forth. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was you, Fabio? That was cool. I'm gonna check the other feed, because maybe on owandocapital.com or something else is gonna look a lot better than what I see. Because we may be a lot closer to 32K on other feed than mine. Yeah, see, 32K over here. No, it's still pretty down. Pretty far away is the low. Over here, let's go look at Owanda. Yeah, 32K is like down here. Yeah, it's still pretty far along the way. Pretty long way to go across the board. Okay, as of right now, yep, that very next low. Yeah, Dow's moving towards our weekly objective very nicely. Give me one sec. Right here. Nasdaq, no signs of returning back to that. I'm gonna take out this low right here, or I'm gonna leave it since it's still relevant and it was a major low, but I do see price action kind of just traveling down there. Sorry guys, just give me a second with my wrist. Shit's like pulsing today. Alright guys, we'll see what we end up getting today. In terms of DXY, we're super close to our weekly. We're almost inside that imbalance that I want us to go long from. We'll see. Let's see what EU is doing. So look, this is a pretty good divergence right here. I can show you guys. I can let you, yeah. Sorry. I can show you guys real quick. So this is EU, and EU failed to take out that previous low, as DXY did in fact take out that previous high. So that's what I call bullish divergence, right? We may, because EU and DXY do correlate quite often, we may shoot right through this and go right lower, and this ends up moving higher from here to take out this initial high of the day. It is a possibility given the current divergence on these two. Okay, so potential longs here on EU. This imbalance is just popping off. This imbalance down here didn't quite make it there yet. Yeah, 1 hour on DXY right there. Okay. So we'll watch that divergence between those two. Okay. Then we also got to note bullish imbalance there. Just noting all the areas where we could potentially get a rejection from. You know, I would really be attracted to this trade. I do really like the trade. Has liquidity, 2 imbalances, divergence. But overall, I am bullish on the dollar. Now, could I be wrong about the dollar? Absolutely. But because I am bullish on the dollar, I'm going to not take this long on EU. Yeah, you're gonna have to show me, Fabio, on a chart. If you guys ever want to show me something, the best way to do it, I always have Twitter pulled up on my screen, on my top screen. I always have Twitter pulled up. So if you guys ever want to just send me something, a markup, or show me anything, Twitter's probably like the best place where we can interact. Besides the chat, because I mean the chat, I guess it doesn't let you drop a link. So if that helps, if you know that means of communication is a little bit better, then utilize it. If you guys ever want to send me anything. EU is kind of crawling down there. We got the opening price of the stock market. Let's go back to indices. And then let's go back to single screen. Okay, NASDAQ getting back into that blue shaded area as we mentioned. Dow's getting back into that imbalance here on the left hand side. S&P did take out the previous daily low. Some more bullish divergence here between S&P and DX and NASDAQ. I'm curious now. I'm very, very curious. I do think we're going to be able to go long now, actually. My bias may change here because of that divergence. I'm waiting till 10 a.m., okay? That's... I'm pretty set on that today. I'm waiting till 10 a.m. because there is divergence for longs on EU as well. So there's divergence for longs here on NASDAQ and S&P. So I'm going to sit out till 10 a.m. Let the market give us a clear directional bias, and we'll go from there. Fabio says, I'm checking on the... Oh, yeah, bro. You're going to have to just send me that tweet. That way we can check it out together. Or even on Telegram. Message me on Telegram. I have it open too. I have it pulled up. Either one. Did I share the call on Twitter? Ooh, I forgot to share the call on Twitter. It's okay. There's that bullish divergence kind of coming into play there between these two assets. Okay. For divergence, do you use bodies or wicks? Wicks. You can use bodies or wicks, but I mainly use wicks. Internal liquidity wasn't taken on NASDAQ. Yeah, I mentioned that too, but again, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard me talk about internal and external liquidity recently, but the main reason I stopped teaching a lot of, like, a big chunk of it was because people were just using it as a main confirmation, and internal and external liquidity are not a main confirmation. I would write that down. Internal and external liquidity are only supporting confirmations. They will not determine a directional bias for me. It's not the confirmation that determines the market directional bias for me, at least. Yeah, the reason, and it's not that I don't want to teach internal and external liquidity. It was just like, it was just kind of sad to see that a lot of misinterpretations were taken from it, and it was, I'm not saying that that's what's happening right now, but it's a lot of misinterpretations were taken from my teachings and turned into something that it isn't. Now I hear people talking about internal and external liquidity, and I look at it and I'm like, man, I don't know about that, you know? So now, Hun, you got it correct though, bro. I mean, I also have that same area there marked out. Is that internal liquidity? I think I have the next low marked out. I have the exact same low marked out, brother. But yeah, I'm just being patient right now. But for sure, yeah, I do see the internal liquidity. That's why I wanted to see shorts at the open. We're just kind of not getting that right now, though. So let's switch NASDAQ over here and put S&P over here on the right, and then put this down here. Perfect. Okay, I want it just like that. Okay, yeah, because this is still kind of in a bullish. Could still turn bullish. NASDAQ getting back into our blue shaded box. Yeah, some more bullish divergence today. Do you know a broker I can check gaps besides futures on TradingView? I have not paid TradingView. I think you are able to, regardless if it's paid or not. No, I'm pretty sure you have to pay for the feeds. Oh, okay, wait. You can go for the free ones, but look, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not saying that everyone should do this, but I like, even when I do trade margin, I'm still looking at the futures feeds. Even when I'm trading margin, you know, I'm not even trading futures. I still look at the futures feeds. Let's say like I wasn't trading futures at all, I still look at the futures feeds. Do I know one specifically? I don't know a good one that I like, but I do know them. I mean, there's US 30, capital.com. That one's the one that shows gaps. 8cap liquidity shows gaps. Yeah, capital.com, forex.com, and 8cap all show gaps. And they're all free. Yeah, don't use Oanda. I would tell you guys right now, don't use Oanda when it comes to the feed. You will not see any gaps on Oanda. Avoid using Oanda when you guys are trading indices. Not as a broker, but avoid watching that feed. Bullish divergence doing its thing, guys. Look at that. Look at the way NASDAQ's pumping. I'm not against the longs. I'm really not. Given this divergence, I'm not against the longs at all. I would say the longs look really good. Yeah. Longs are looking pretty damn good. Yeah, but I mean, again, guys, you can easily add these feeds into your. You can easily add these feeds into your feeds, into your trading view. It's like $5 a month, something like that. If you don't trade futures, here's the opportunity. It's like $5 a month to get this feed. Um, I think even like $30 a year. I'm not sure. I forgot now. Actually, I think it's like $60 a year. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna have that discount here coming up soon, next month or this month. That Cyber Monday or Black Friday sale that they have every fucking year. Every year they have it, and every year I grab the same thing, the premium one, and I'm pretty sure you can do the add-ons where this add-on is gonna, give you futures feeds. But yeah, no, even if you have the highest, like the premium package on TradingView, you still won't be able to see futures unless you just pay them on the side. You just add them on separately. $15-second reaccumulation or 15-minute reaccumulation, maybe 15-minute, I'm guessing. Maybe we were saying the 15-second. I'm not sure, but the 15-minute, I just don't see anything yet. 15-minute, oh yeah, yeah. Again, our feeds probably looked a little different, so it makes sense if you guys are seeing something I'm not. What's Dow doing? Not shit. Probably the easiest way to identify divergence: previous daily lows and highs. Ah, man, sorry, I was yawning. EU took off. Boom. There's our little area. I mean, everything was there. But just the XY wasn't. But the XY is coming down to that area that I was mentioning. And it, honestly, we may just see this thing pop off because this bullish divergence. But now you guys see it. Like, now you guys see the divergence. That's really what I wanted out of this exercise, is for you guys to see divergence and see how even in small ass plays. 1 second. My fucking dog. 1 sec. Sorry. Dude, I just don't know what's up with little dogs, but they jump off everything. 1 second. That's why my music gets changed. 1 second, guys. Yeah, look at that. Playing out beautiful. Hope someone took EU, but I mean, like I said, I just didn't want to take it till after 10. This one probably would have been a better idea to take it before 10, honestly, but it is what it is. We'll see where it goes. Fiverr says, I managed to get gaps. I've sent you on Telegram. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we get. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, that's so far from current price. I don't like to predict the market or say that it's gonna do something when we're really so far from those areas, because you got to understand, like, I don't look at price from left to right like that. Like I don't look at, let's say, like, I'm not looking at EU for this previous area of accumulation here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking at this 1 hour. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to normal. Okay, I'm not looking here at this 1 hour previous area of accumulation from left to right here, and I'm taking like this trade like that. Like, that's just not how I trade. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but that's just not how I trade. The way that I trade is from like current price actions. You know, I'll have these areas marked out, certain areas, and then I'll watch current price action do exactly this, the accumulation, and then I go based off areas like this. So I can't say that we're going to just straight up accumulate out of that previous area of accumulation for sure, because it can definitely reaccumulate from there, but I don't look for areas like that. Like, I'm not looking at this previous area of distribution like this and taking a trade like that, or looking for shorts out of that area. It's just not how I trade. I trade liquidity, insufficiencies for the most part. I don't really look from like left to right when it comes to entries, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. You guys have definitely seen the way that I break down charts, and it's never really like a left to right kind of method. Yeah, I'm not looking for shorts here though. I'm leaving that there. For sure, bro. For sure. You're in and out. I'm in and out. I know what you mean. My bro's dog would be jumping off everything after her first jump. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure what you mean by in and out. But I just bought EU on this 15-minute BB. I don't know what that is, but nice. Breaker block, maybe? BB? I don't know. There's so many abbreviations out there. Aiming for the lows on Dow, but we got that area on the lows. Yeah, like I said, I just don't look at price action like that, bro. I know you think I don't know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. I still don't look at price like that. Like, for me, my eyes don't even... I don't... So that way people know what we're talking about here. Let me just bring it back. What time frame is this? A 1 hour? Yeah, I just don't look at price action like that. I'm not gonna go on the 1 hour and show you this, but I can go on the daily and do this real quick. Like, when I go on the higher time frames, I don't look at areas and say, let's say it was this area or this area right here, right? Okay, let's say it was this area right here at 32K, right? When I see this area, I don't think, oh, I should dive in here and look for the smaller time frame accumulation areas. Like, not once does that ever cross my mind. I look at these areas and I immediately think, oh, liquidity, 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 liquidity. I look at lows, highs, and lows. I don't really care about the accumulation area because right now, to current price, that's not really my relevancy. You know what I mean? If we end up accumulating out of that area, I'm not going to say it's because of this candle. I'm going to say, to me, it's going to be because we took out this low. If we end up accumulating below this low, to me, it's not going to be because we came into this area down here and then accumulated out of it. It's going to be, for me, it's going to be because we took out these lows to the top of it, if that makes sense. So it's hard for me to tell you that that's an area that really interests me or is even relevant to me because, yeah, you know what I mean? Because I just don't trade that way. I don't look at price action like that. Yeah, I just don't look at price action like that. I simplify things. You guys already know I keep things very simple. Highs and lows. That's what I look for in a higher time frame. If an area is hella far from it, from my current price, I'm only looking at higher time frames. I'm never looking at an area to the left and dissecting it on the like 4 hour, looking at whether there's an imbalance in there. I know my brother Nate does trade that way. Like, he'd be coming over here and he'd be like, oh, look, there's a fully unmitigated 4 hour candle here that we can accumulate from. My brother Nate, he trades like that, and he trades like that successfully. So if there's anyone that I would ask questions like that, is someone that does trade that way, because he does do that type of stuff. And then he'll come in here and he'll be like, okay, now let's look at it on the 1 hour. Let's see if there's any imbalances on the 1 hour. And then so he'll start dissecting it like that. It's just not my style. You know what I mean? If we end up accumulating out of this area, you know what I'm going to say? Oh, it's because we took out this previous daily low right there and we accumulated below that low. You know what I mean? And so that's how I see price action. I'm not going to be like, oh, we're accumulating out of this previous area of accumulation. I'll be like, nah, look, we're accumulating below that low. So I don't know if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's not that you're overcomplicating things. It's just that we see things differently. You and I are looking for things differently. Not making one person more right or wrong than the other. It's just, I don't know. You know, Nate looks at price action like that. I don't. Does it make Nate incorrect though? Hell no. That guy's a fucking killer trader. Like, he's a beast trader, guys. Beast trader. So, okay, I want to touch on this real quick because I think this is super important. Now, DXY was pointing towards the upside, right? DXY was pointing towards the upside for longs. But then you have EU that had that bullish divergence, which would, in essence, if the EU had that bullish divergence, then we would need DXY to continue trading lower. This is a really important part, so I want you guys to pay attention. Because EU had that bullish divergence, DXY, my DXY bias went from long to short. Now, not just that alone is going to switch my entire bias, but it was the fact that NASDAQ and S&P also had bullish divergence. So we have S&P with bullish divergence, NASDAQ with bullish divergence, and EU with bullish divergence. That's a whole reason as to why I am in favor of longs, because even though DXY is bullish on the 4 hour and or on the 1 hour, right? And we still have this bullish order flow. The matter of fact is that we got divergence, bullish divergence throughout all the other assets, and that may cause DXY to push lower from here. When you're bullish, you'd ideally want to see these imbalances get tapped and left mainly open. The fact that we're trading through that makes me think that we are going to trade through this area. So if we get this bearish distribution, this distro here on the XY, it's going to be pretty good on indices to just go long on those highs. NASDAQ hitting my weekly objective, you know, to the high at 15,060.75. It made a lot of sense, really. Thank you. Yeah, brother, of course. Is your 4 hour currently bearish? What do you think about the sells back down on NAS? I don't like the sells. Yeah, I'm not in favor of shorts today. Yeah, not yet. There's not enough liquidity. Like, I see the structure though. I know what you're talking about. But currently, look at this. Look, you gotta look at this, okay? This is what I was talking to a student yesterday, actually, and we had a really good conversation on this. So we're gonna go over it together here as well. I had a really good one-on-one session yesterday, and it was about my boy Lobro. I don't know how to say your name, brother, correctly. Hopefully I say it correctly, but my boy Lobro and I were talking about this, and it was a very clear indication as to why I'm bullish here. Structure is bearish, right? Structure is bearish across the board. But the reason I'm bullish on NASDAQ is because look at the low of that new week opening gap. Look at the low of it. Look at how the bodies respect the low of it. Notice how the bodies have not traded or closed below it. This is a gap. This is an imbalance. If we were to close below it, just like on DXY, right? Just like on DXY, if we were to close below that 1 hour imbalance, I'm thinking bearish. It's the exact same thing on NASDAQ. If NASDAQ was to close below that new week opening gap, I would have thought bearishness. But because we continuously respect with the bodies here, I'm going to remain bullish despite all the downside liquidity. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, internal and external liquidity is a supporting confirmation. I'm looking at that previous daily low for a target. And as a supporting confirmation, I am also looking at it as an internal liquidity. So internal liquidity and previous daily low, but it's a previous daily low first before it's internal liquidity. Right? And this is why I really wasn't looking for internal liquidity, is because of the divergence. Internal and external liquidity is a really good confirmation to support your already, your already predetermined bias, to support everything that you're already doing and identifying. But I deviated from teaching too much internal and external liquidity for that reason. I think there's just a lot of misconceptions on it. But I will come out with a nice presentation for you all before the year ends. I am going to come out with a really good presentation for you all in terms of liquidity, my understanding of liquidity. I think it's basically going to be a video. You guys remember the video Liquidity is the Name of the Game? It's going to be like a Liquidity is the Name of the Game part 2. And I'm going to go really deep into all types of liquidity, including internal and external. But yeah, no, I'm not in favor of the sells back down. I think in terms of structure, we need to follow structure, yes, but we have yet to hit liquidity. So look at the fucking longs. Oh, look, we're 4 minutes out from news event. I don't know what jobs opening is, to be honest with you. I've never seen that set of I seen that set of news. I just never really paid attention to it as to what it is. S&P took all that liquidity out. Crazy. So on NASDAQ, I was looking for... Oh, wait, 1 second. On NASDAQ, I was originally looking for those lows. I'm not saying the lows are not going to happen, but I don't think they're going to happen today. In terms of structure, though, if you're looking at it structure-wise, we are bearish. This is a redistribution. It would make sense to go short from there. I do see it. I'm just not going to participate on the shorts. what is that criteria that has to be met for me to take a trade? I That's a lot. That's my whole trading plan. That's my whole trading plan. I feel like I go through it every single day though. The way that I break down charts, it's just different every time, right? Every market environment is different. And I can see why it could be confusing. What is my actual criteria? It's just different. I mean, if there's no there, for example, like the liquidity here, I would not take this long. Why? Because there's a bunch of liquidity built up underneath it. I would not take the short. Why? Because there's a bunch of liquidity built up above it. But now let's add divergence into it. I would hella take this long because of the divergence that's going on between these two assets. And so not much liquidity was really required here. The liquidity that was taken, you could say liquidity is always going to be a part of my game because the liquidity that was taken here. So check out the liquidity that was taken here. Right? This is Nasdaq's sistering asset. Right? Just like DXY has EU, Nasdaq has SPX and Dow. And so a lot of the times what will happen is some lows or targets are taken out on some, but not all. Okay, and when that happens, you identify the ones that did take it, and you go look at the ones that did not take that same liquidity level. And you can assume that Nasdaq is using S&P's sistering liquidity to run for these longs, because that's the divergence on it. So I guess liquidity is always going to be a part of it. There's Nasdaq for that short that someone mentioned. Jolt's job openings. Interesting. Imbalances, bearish imbalances are being respected. We'll see what happens here. We came into the low end of this imbalance with a 15-minute imbalance here as well. I really like this area for the longs. They look really attractive, especially because the low end of that blue shaded box and an imbalance are touching at the same area. I'll take a small position unless we get back down there. I'm gonna take one small one because I know it was a little bit later and it's not right in the imbalance, but if we get right back into that imbalance, I am gonna take this long one more time. My stop loss would be a little bit below that. Nah, too big. I'm gonna say I'm not risking that much. Not on this trade. So I guess that criteria had to be met, right? So look, imbalance. So we had structure, divergence. Structure on the daily, it's bullish. Divergence between the assets. Liquidity has been taken on the sistering asset. We got a displacement, which means that an imbalance was created to that opposing side that you're supporting your bias. Okay, now I took the trade. The actual area that I wanted to take it. May dump just right through given the structure and the way that we're respecting bearish order flow. Again, I could be hella wrong. It's totally fine. Taking one, like 0.33%. That bearish 1 hour is respecting. I'm just gonna wait. Just gonna wait. Wait patiently. Everything's distributing to the downside pretty hard. I'm not discounting the possibilities for the long still. You gotta notice, this is the first 2 minutes of this new 4-hour candle. Look at the last 4-hour candle, how it closed. This is the new few minutes of this new 4-hour candle. New 4-hour candle. Taking out previous low liquidity. Getting back into that blue shaded area. NASDAQ. This is the first few minutes. So if you're thinking in power of 3, if we want to see a bullish candle, right? If you want to see a bullish candle, it's going to open bearish, hit an area of support, and accumulate from that to then create the bullish candle that you're expecting. In terms of where could we turn this thing around, I'm thinking below these lows. It's the only thing. What is the criteria? Yep. Four-hour here is still technically bearish. I'm just waiting for this low now. I'm waiting for that low across the board. And then EU, I'm guessing EU is dumping too, right? Yeah. Look at that. DXY, there's that 1 hour imbalance. DXY hit weekly objective. Damn. We hit weekly objective so fucking soon. I was hoping we would make our way up there. I was wondering what will happen next. What will you do next? I do like the longs on NASDAQ a lot now. I would even want to push it there, but there's no like double confirmation here. Another one of my confirmations for the one asking what is my criteria is overlapping confirmations. So to enter the market, I need 2 things to overlap for me to give me an entry point, to validate an entry point. Dow hitting that low. Nasdaq's the only one that hasn't hit that previous daily low. Will we hit there now? Previous daily low's right there. Previous daily low and internal liquidity on the daily. What was the news called? I'm gonna write this one down. I gotta journal this one. 1 second. So let's pull it up, because this one gave a crazy ass reaction. Jolt's job openings. Okay. Hold on. Let me add this to my journal, because that's one I don't have. We have a lot of news this week. Let me just add a new one. Jolts. 1 second. Let me fill it out. We came back to that 4-hour imbalance and just poof, rejected super hard. Big dumps. Maybe we'll get the longs after we smack all the lows. These guys were clean to short. It just didn't come to a good area. Yeah, I'm not convinced on the shorts, guys. I gotta say. Like, even if... Yeah. It's just what's fast won't last. And that was a pretty fast movement. That was a pretty fast movement. I'll be here for like another like 20-30 minutes. I'm gonna give it another 20-30 minutes. Nasdaq took out previous daily low. Finally, it's not 50% and below yet, but took out previous daily low. That divergence is now for me finished. So much liquidity to the upside. Trend trading might be the move. I don't know about that. Let me know how it goes for you. Let me know how that goes. The trend is your friend. Our breakaway trade. I think Nasdaq's ready. Nasdaq to me looks ready. We just hit 50%. Yeah, look at that rejection on the dollar. They hella juked us. Sorry. Sheesh, I just stretched. That was the best. Hold on, let me take some notes for Jolt's job openings on NASDAQ. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna put Jolt's. Jolt's 10 a.m. hits. Oh shit. Hits daily objective. Cool. Just collecting data, guys. Just collecting data. That's all I'm doing. Alright. Who's still in favor of the longs on DXY? Look at EU go. Let's go, EU. Let's go, EU. Come on, indices. Indices need to just give us what we want for once. Fuck. Indices need to just follow suit. Look at that. Look at DXY. Fucking love it. Yeah, I did say we could potentially touch that high right there. So maybe we go back down that way now. Early morning aggressive moves like this always entice me to just stop trading for the day. Then often a crazy opportunity is given after. I can never tell if it's wiser to shut down or wait for a trade. I'd say wait. I think there's still a possibility. Nasdaq's going for that internal. Dow's not doing anything. S&P's falling. DXY is doing whatever DXY is doing here. I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. What is DXY doing? Yeah, I don't think that this volatility is gonna last very long, so I'm just gonna stick around. But yeah, no, bro, I totally get what you mean. Especially, so one big one for me is when the daily objectives and the objectives get hit. Like, that is a big one for me. It's like, after the objectives get hit, like, what do I aim for beyond that? You know, is this a turning point? Is it not a turning point? Because it being so early on in the day, you could imagine that how these can end up turning out to be a turning point for the market price. You know what I mean? So one second. It is fucking cold here. Someone grab some socks real quick. 1 sec. This is free falling. DXY is kind of stagnant in the same fucking area that we've been looking at all day. Super stagnant. We'll leave that there. Nasdaq's just been free falling hard. I did not anticipate this big of a drop. But Jolts, that's really cool. That's why I noted it. I noted Jolts. Because the next time we have Jolts, we'll be a little bit more prepared. There's definitely going to be ones that I'm not aware of too well. What the fuck are we doing over here? Early morning volatility. I mean, there's so much news this week, bro. Honestly, it's about just understanding it, understanding what happened. This 1 hour structure ended up fucking dumping price. I'll tell you that much. It's fucking crazy. But if you look at it structure wise, distribution here, higher low distro, higher low distro again. It just kept redistributing. Am I in favor of the shorts though? Damn, I can't tell you guys that I'm in very much favor of the shorts. I can't. I'm still I'm so married to that long bias. It's just like last week. Do you guys remember last week? All week, I'm like, damn, I'm like catching the bottom of these, and then it wasn't till, yeah, it wasn't till Thursday. You know, we caught the longs on Monday, beautiful. Broke even Tuesday, didn't trade Wednesday because I was expecting these longs, and then Thursday. It wasn't until Thursday that I got that nice opportunity. These shorts on DXY. EU. Go EU. Honestly, don't have enough time to calculate it, but this imbalance here is beautiful. Oh, never mind. I didn't have enough time to calculate my entry. I always need like to count when it comes to forex. But I mean, these longs were beautiful. This one right here, with this one right here. Breaker over here. But honestly, EU, the reason I'm looking at EU more is because EU is actually following through with what DXY is doing. Indices are not. So that's why my interest today would be with EU. It is the one that's actually following suit with what DXY is doing. Yeah, true hindsight, I think FOMO is a big reason for my impatience. Even if I'm not expecting to take a trade, I've been committed to tape reading a lot more instead of just backtesting. Yeah, I think that's probably like the best way to backtest too. I couldn't agree with you more. Anybody that spends the weekend backtesting, I'm gonna tell you this right now: spend more, if not double the time, with a, you know. This is why I have all my students doing this. I'll tell you guys what I have all of my students doing in my private mentorship. Okay. When I realize that someone is not yet profitable or close to being profitable, and they have yet to learn a lot of these, I guess, they have yet to learn how to read price action to this much of detail. Okay. Whenever that happens, I mean, hold on. This fucking low was so clean taken. The way that it got taken right there. Shit. Okay. I have all my students do this, and I mean, all my students in here can vouch for this, and some of them listen, some of them don't, but it's okay because they all learn at the end of the day. And it's grab a small ass funded account. Like grab a 10K. There's 10Ks out there that are under $100. Okay. Go invest $100 into yourself and trade that account, and whatever strategy you're learning, instead of trying to pass the account, what your goal is to learn as much as you can from this account. And so because the goal is that, a lot of people learn more instead of just consistently always trying to pass their account. So they find themselves learning a lot more. So if you guys haven't ever done that before, instead of back testing, grab a small ass account. Don't grab your main account. Grab a small ass account, a challenge account. It could be a 5 or a 10K. They're both under $100 in most places. Okay. And use that $100, invest that $100 to invest in yourself, in your learning, and give yourself more time than just on the weekends to backtest to learn this strategy, because it's going to take years of application and years of retaining this information, of applying it consistently and failing through it. But why are you going to fail with so much pressure? Why don't you learn how to fail? Learn how to lose, right? And you got a smaller account, and then that way you build up your confidence, you build up your trading plan, you sharpen your edge. What are we doing, DXY? Playing with the low, playing with that 4-hour imbalance. Another 35 minutes on this 4-hour candle on DXY. Yeah, it's all about giving yourself enough time. I think everybody just wants to be profitable so soon that they just don't. And it is my deep belief that people just don't think they're worthy enough of their own efforts. That's truly my belief. Like, I just think people, the only reason why you wouldn't give yourself enough time is because you don't believe yourself capable of doing so. Because otherwise, why would you rush it? Why would you rush something like this with such a low percentage of success rate? Like, why would you want to rush into something like that? Right? With so much risk on the table, why run into risk? Why not leverage risk for your education instead of leveraging risk for rewarding and for getting paid out? Why don't you leverage risk for your education? Now, a lot of people just want to pass their challenges, but don't take the time to learn what it takes to pass and maintain a challenge. They just take so much time, years and years and years, months and months and months, trying to pass a challenge, trying to pass a challenge, trying to pass a challenge. And then they put all this fucking time into learning how to pass a challenge when they never learned how to maintain a challenge and maintain profitability. All they've learned is how to be profitable for one fucking week, passing the challenge in one fucking week or within a month, and then that's it. Beyond that, that's as far as and deep as this fucking goal goes, and it's pretty sad. I'm not trying to blast anybody, put anybody on blast or anything. I'm just saying it's kind of sad to see a lot of my fellow traders putting so much time, money, effort, and then doing that to themselves. I see it all the time, students doing this to themselves again and again and again. But I just believe that it goes down rooted to, do you believe that you're worthy enough? Like, do you believe yourself to be worthy enough to achieve everything that you've set yourself out to achieve? Because if you feel worthy enough, then you should be putting in your time. Should give yourself time. Give yourself enough time to learn. Because again, most people are here today with the expectation of catching a trade and the expectation of wanting to pass their challenge instead of having a learning experience. You can do both. I'm not saying you can't do both, but the person that's just here purely for educational purposes versus the person that's just trying to pass their challenge, one of them is going to suffer a lot more than the other, and you control your suffering. You really do. You control the level of suffering that you're exposed to in trading. And the moment you realize that, you'll start feeling, you'll have to deal with a lot less pain, unnecessary pain. You're just kind of playing in that same area. Everything's just still walking itself down. DXY attempting to go back up from that 4-hour imbalance. Yeah, guys, it may not be I may not take any more trades today. I was gonna say it may not be a trading day for me, but I already got clapped. Yeah, I mean, I took one trade today this whole week so far, and it did stop me out. It is what it is. I'm gonna come back. Yeah, we'll see what these end up playing out, because I still believe in the longs. I just don't think there's enough strength in the market to go long very far. If we end up going long, it may be something like this, where we go long and then come right back, and then end up going long again a little bit more and then come right back. So it just looks like those type of days when there's so much weakness in the market. Not even a bearish DXY will push this the other way, but DXY looks like it's just gonna go right back into this range, right back into the range that is already created. I think the longs may present themselves at 11 a.m. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Yeah, I don't doubt that. Not one bit. One second. Let me review my schedule for today. I know I have a one-on-one every day this week, but I'm not sure what time today. Oh shit. Yeah, I gotta head out here in a little bit. I do have a one-on-one here at 11 a.m. sharp with my boy Zay. Building liquidity for NFP. Is NFP even this week? No fucking way did I miss that. It is. What? Why am I fucking missing this right now? I don't know where my head's at. I went over all this shit yesterday. Tomorrow? No, it's Friday. Friday's NFP. What the fuck? Dude, there's so many fucking big news this week. Yeah, brother. I mean, we may be building up liquidity for that. That's definitely something that's possible. Thanks for Juan. Thanks for that, bro. You, my guy. You're showing me that you're growing a lot, brother. Thank you. I'm really proud of that. Yeah, it's cool when like students are clapping up the markets, or noticing things that you're so oblivious to. Probably because of the quarter shift. There's an NFP. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, actually. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You may be referring to something else, but NFP is every first Friday of the month. Usually. I've seen it happen on the second week of the month. It does happen, but not. It's a rare occasion. It happened once this year, though. Like Friday landed on the first of the month, usually, and ended up being like a Thursday, and then that very next Friday they didn't do NFP, and they did it the following Fridays. It happened once this year. It can happen, not always though. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Probably a lot of news because it's a new month and the new quarter. You're right. Yeah, that is a very good observation. Very good observation. Well, we ended up taking a fat shit today, so, except for Nas, in which I still believe in the longs, but indices, the other two are just fucking free falling. I'm kind of heartbroken by NASDAQ. All right. Let's see. I want to see who's been really studying, because I know some of you have really been studying ICT. But have you guys watched the entire 2023 playlist? I'm almost done with that 2023 playlist. I'm almost done with it. Yeah. I probably have like 2 more videos, and then it's just the current ones that he does from here on out. But have you guys kept up with all your studies? Have you guys been putting in hours of studies? How many hours of studies do you guys put a week? Studying, not back testing or forward testing or looking at the charts, but actually like studying content. How much time do you guys spend a week studying content? Drop it in the chat. How many hours? I want to see who's been, how many hours you guys got clocked in. More than 5 daily. Holy fuck. More than 5 hours daily? Okay, look, I'm strictly talking about just studying new content. Like, just watching a video of, it could be mine, it could be someone else's, but not back testing the market, not back testing. Like 25 to bro, that's a full-time job. What the fuck? 25 to 30 hours a week? Yo, I'm fucking blown away. I did not expect that an answer like that. That's crazy. My boy's working a full-time job basically. I mean, good for you though. That's cool. I want to see more answers because I know there more than just one person is doing all the work. Watching your playlist beyond your beliefs. Okay. It came right back to that breaker. Okay, 6 to 7 hours a week. It might take this long, guys. I'm not gonna. Shit. I already went. 1 second. Yeah, it might take this long. 6 to 7 hours. With the time I have, more than 1 or 3 hours a day, mostly spend it reading, listening to podcasts. Okay. All right. So now, for all those people, for all the individuals, so I study. Let's be honest, right? I don't study that much. I'm definitely, like, you guys definitely got me beat on hours for sure. I read for about 20 minutes, if I do at all, for 20 minutes a day. I journal for about like 20-30 minutes a day, so I would say like an hour right there. And I watch ICT like twice or 3 times a week for like an hour and a half, however long the video that I'm watching is. So I study overall, maybe if that's happening like twice a week, that's 6 hours, sometimes 4 hours. 4 plus 5. I mean, I'm studying like 9 hours a week, maybe. I would say I'm like I'm right where he's saying 6 to 7 hours a week. I'm like about right there. It's about 6 to 7 hours a week of studying. Okay, so now let me ask you guys this. How many hours, for those of you listening to podcasts, studying podcasts, for those of you who studied, Beyond Your Beliefs playlist on this YouTube channel, for those of you studying all of that, 1 second. Do I still believe in these longs? Fuck yeah, I do. Am I gonna take this? Nah. It's coming out of this distribution area. I'm gonna leave it. That way people can see it right there. It's coming out of that distro right there, so I'm not gonna take it. I was gonna take it, but you can see it clearly right here. It's distributing. Okay. Fuck, it's cold. That wakes me up though. Shit. Okay, so now for all of you people, for all of my people studying, putting in hours of studies, how many hours are you spending applying the things that you've learned? So let's say you listened to a podcast yesterday for an hour. How much time have you spent since you've heard that podcast applying what you learned? Like intentionally, not just unintentionally, whenever the fucking, the opportunity comes to explain to someone. No, I'm not talking about explaining it or teaching it to someone else. I'm talking about true application. Since you guys have heard those podcast videos or anything like that, studied anything from ICT, how much time have you spent actually taking those notes and applying it? If I took notes on a podcast, how did you apply that today? And how many hours did you devote to the application on a weekly basis? And I'm talking about conscious application. I'm not talking about, coincidentally, I had to talk to my friend about something I learned on a podcast. Nope. I'm talking about conscious application. Not just backtesting on the charts. Backtesting's one of them. Yeah, you can count backtesting. I live in Colombia and I work from home for a company in the US, so I have plenty of time during the day while I work and I listen to podcasts and your videos, etc. I try to apply things right away. Like if I learn something from you, I will use the backtesting or next day. If I learn something from a book, I start implementing it in my life right away. Yeah, that's kind of like the answer that I expected everyone to say. I immediately try it. Okay, look, guys, be honest. You know what I mean? Like, be honest with yourself. If we were truly applying everything that we've learned in all the books, because I've read over like 20, 30 books. But if I was truly applying everything that I truly did learn immediately, I'd be a fucking saint. I really would. Like, not gonna lie, like, I'd be killing it right now in the game. Not just in trading, but I'd be killing it in all aspects of life. So I'm being really honest with myself. I don't apply things. I that's the problem. I try to apply things right away into my life, but I don't spend the time consciously applying things and setting up. Let's say I learned yesterday about empathy. I don't have an action plan that I actually put in place, because if I learn something in trading, I have an action plan. I go to the charts, I back test it, and I forward test it. I paper trade it, right? So you have like a set plan. But when it comes to self-development, do you actually have a system to apply all the things that you learned? Or are you just using life to try to apply it immediately, quote unquote? You know what I mean? Because everyone's always going to say, oh, I'm trying to apply it immediately. But did you? You know what I mean? Like, did you? Because like I said, I've read a shit ton of books. I've watched a ton of podcasts. But if I could truly tell you guys that I applied everything immediately as soon as I've learned it, I'd be fucking lying to you guys, because I don't. I'd be a fucking saint. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'd be way different. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Fabio's got knows what I'm talking about. I like transparency. I'm being 100% clear with you guys. I don't apply everything that I learn. Not right away. I can't just tell myself I try to immediately apply it, because trying is not doing. Trying is trying, but that's not doing. Now, in application, I'll tell you guys what. An application, I spent about 10 to 12 hours every week. An application. Conscious application. Like listening to a podcast, writing down notes, and then underneath my notes, writing down an action plan of what I'm going to do to implement what I took notes on. When I went to an event on last Saturday, I went to an all-day event, entrepreneurship event. I took notes, but I left space right underneath each of my notes to how I'm going to implement everything that I learned. I only wrote things down consciously, aware that I'm only writing things down that I'm willing to apply into my life right away. Not things that I found cool, not things that I liked, but things that I'm truly willing to apply into my life right away. And so I wrote down, in, for example, my 100 dinner plan. I want to add more empathy into my life. I want to invite more love and philanthropy into my life. And how am I going to do that? And I wrote down an action plan on how I'm going to do that. Not just that, but I know the exact date as to when I'm going to go apply it, actually. And I'm going to put this plan into action. I spend probably more time in application than I ever will in studying. That's the reality of it. That's my reality of it. I spend more time in application than I ever will in the study session. In trading, I'm exactly the same way. I don't back test. I don't really go back and just look at how many fucking times this one thing happened. I don't do that. I don't learn anything from ICT that I'm not applying that very same week. And I'm trying it, and I'm applying it with live trading. Not live account, but I'm just paper trading it. Paper trading the strategy that I just learned. Creating a whole study case. So now I learned the turtle soup, right? Now I'm going to spend the next 25 to 30 trades applying that, right? Hours and hours of application. That's where the question comes from. How many hours are you truly applying what you're learning? Consciously applying. Not just trying to apply it, but consciously applying what you're learning. That's what matters. That's really what's going to take you to the next level. So I'm going to end it on this note with you guys for today. Go, whatever you learned yesterday, go revise what you studied yesterday. Go revise your notes. Take 3 things that you took away from yesterday. Never let a day go by without you taking something away from it. So take 3 things from yesterday. At max 3. Minimum 1. And write down an action plan on how you're going to apply yourself to that concept. Whether it had been something you learned on a podcast or on a live stream, on the charts or an ICT stream. Write down an action plan right next to it of what you're going to do today to apply those very teachings. Because information's powerful. It's potential power. Right? But applied experience is where the real power and potential comes from. Yep, take those thoughts. You guys are very smart. You guys are all very, very smart. Take those thoughts and ideas out of your head and put them and apply them on paper. Okay? I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope that today you guys take your studies more seriously and you take your studies and you take the application of your studies more deeply into consideration. Don't let a lesson go by without you truly consciously applying it, not just trying to do things, because trying is not doing. And with that, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. Appreciate you guys. We did get clapped, but it was a really good session overall. Regardless, I'm truly happy and grateful to be here with you guys as always. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, same place. We'll dive right deep into it. Price action just going back and forth. Again, it is what it is. NFP is on Friday. I'm thinking about doing an NFP stream, so Maybe we'll start the session a little bit earlier on Friday. But just remember, guys, we're going live every single day, Monday through Friday, except Thursdays. Okay? Appreciate you guys. I fucking love you guys. This was a really cool conversation. And I will talk to you guys next time. Peace.